Hello, everybody. I thought I'd take a little time to maybe tell one of my favorite Christmas stories in hopes that, the kids that can't get to Mass and be with their families and friends would appreciate that. So it's one of my favorite ones. It's a story called The Barrington Bunny from a book called The Way of the Wolf. And a Reverend Martin Bell had the time to sit down and write a story that certainly has a lot of reflection in it for us to think about, especially at this time of Christmas. So the story is Barrington Bunny. Once upon a time in a large forest there lived a very furry bunny. He had one lop ear and a tiny black nose and unusually shiny eyes. His name was Barrington. Barrington was not really a very handsome bunny. He was brown and speckled, and his ears didn't stand upright, but he could hop, and he was, as I have said, very furry. In a way, winter is fun for bunnies. After all, it gives them an opportunity to hop in the snow and then turn around and see where they've hopped. And so in a way, winter was fun for Barrington. But in another way, winter made Barrington sad. For you see, winter marked the time when all the animal families got together in their cozy homes to celebrate Christmas. He could hop and he was very furry, but as far as Barrington knew, he was the only bunny in the forest. And when Christmas Eve finally came, Barrington did not feel like going home all by himself. So he decided that he would hop for a while in the clearing in the center of the forest. Hop, hop, hippity hop. Barrington made tracks in the fresh snow. Hop, hop, hippity hop. And then he cocked his head and he looked back at all the wonderful designs that he'd made. Bunnies, he thought to himself, can hop. And they're very warm too, because of how furry they are. But Barrington didn't really know whether or not this was true of all bunnies, since he had never seen another bunny. And when it got too dark to see the tracks that he was making, Barrington made up his mind to go home. On his way, however, he passed a large oak tree. High in the branches, there was a great deal of excited chattering going on. And Barrington looked up. It was the squirrel family. What a marvelous time they seemed to be having. "Hello up there," called Barrington. "Low down there," came the reply. "Having a Christmas party?" asked Barrington. "Oh yes," answered the squirrels. "It's Christmas Eve, and everybody's having a Christmas party." "May I come to your party?" said Barrington softly. "Are you a squirrel?" "No." "What are you then?" "A bunny." "A bunny?" "Yes." "Well, how can you come to the party if you're a bunny? Bunnies can't climb trees." "That's true," said Barrington thoughtfully. "But I can hop and I'm very furry and warm." "We're sorry," called the squirrels. "But we don't know anything about hopping and being furry, but we do know that in order to come to our house, you have to be able to climb trees." "Oh well," said Barrington. "Merry Christmas." "Merry Christmas," chattered the squirrels. And the unfortunate bunny hopped off towards his tiny house. It was beginning to snow when Barrington reached the river. And near the river bank was a wonderfully constructed house of sticks and mud. And inside there was singing. "It's the beavers," thought Barrington. "Maybe they'll let me come to their party." And so he knocked on the door. "Who's out there?" called a voice. "Barrington Bunny," he replied. There was a long pause, and then the shiny beaver head broke the water. "Hello, Barrington," said the beaver. "May I come to your Christmas party?" asked Barrington. The beaver thought for a while, and then he said, "I suppose so. Do you know how to swim?" "No," said Barrington, "but I can hop." and I'm very furry and warm." "Sorry," said the beaver. "I don't know anything about hopping and being furry, but I do know that in order to come to our house, you have to be able to swim." "Oh, well," Barrington muttered, his eyes filling with tears. "I suppose that's true. Merry Christmas." "Merry Christmas," called the beaver, and he disappeared beneath the surface of the water. Even being as furry as he was, Barrington was beginning to get cold, and the snow was falling so hard that his tiny bunny eyes could scarcely see what was ahead of him. He was almost home, however, when he heard the excited squeaking of field mice beneath the ground. "It's a party," thought Barrington, and suddenly he blurted out through his tears, "Hello, field mice. This is Barrington Bunny. May I come to your party?" But the wind was howling so loudly and Barrington was sobbing so much that no one heard him. And when there was no response at all, Barrington just sat down in the snow and he began to cry with all his might. Bunnies, he thought, they aren't good to anyone. What good is it to be furry and to be able to hop if you don't have any family on Christmas Eve? And Barrington cried and cried. And when he stopped crying, he began to bite on his bunny's foot. But he did not move from where he was sitting in the snow. And suddenly, Barrington was aware that he was not alone. He looked up and strained his shiny eyes to see who was there. To his surprise, he saw a great silver wolf. The wolf was large and strong, and his eyes flashed fire. And he was the most beautiful animal that Barrington had ever seen. For a long time, the silver wolf didn't say anything at all. He just stood there, and he looked at Barrington with those terrible eyes. And then slowly, deliberately, the wolf spoke. "Barrington," he asked in a gentle voice, "why are you sitting in the snow?" "Because it's Christmas Eve," said Barrington, "and I don't have any family, and bunnies aren't any good to anyone." "Bunnies are too good," said the wolf. "Bunnies can hop, and they're very warm." "Well, what good is that?" Barrington sniffed. "It's very good indeed," the wolf went on, "because it's a gift that bunnies are given, a free gift with no strings attached. And every gift that is given to anyone is given for a reason. Someday you'll see why it's good to hop and to be warm and furry." "But it's Christmas," moaned Barrington, "and I'm all alone, and I don't have any family at all." "Of course you do," replied the great silver wolf. "All of the animals in the forest are your family." And then the wolf disappeared. He simply wasn't there. Barrington had only blinked his eyes, and when he looked, the wolf was gone. "All of the animals in the forest are my family," thought Barrington. "It's good to be a bunny. Bunnies can hop, and that's a gift." And then he said it again, a gift, a free gift. And on into the night Barrington worked. First he found the best stick that he could, and it was difficult because of the snow, and then hop, hop, hippity hop to Beaver's house. He left the stick outside the door with a note on it that read, "Here's a good stick for your house. It's a gift, a free gift, no strings attached, signed, a member of your family." It's a good thing that I can hop, he thought, because the snow is very deep. And then Barrington dug and dug, and soon he had gathered together enough dead leaves and grass to make the squirrel's nest warmer. Hop, hop, hippity hop. He laid the grass and the leaves just under the large oak tree, attached this message. A gift, a free gift from a member of your family. It was late when Barrington finally started home, and what made things worse was that he knew a blizzard was coming. Hop, hop, hippity hop. And soon poor Barrington was lost. The wind howled furiously, and it was very, very cold. Certainly it's cold, he said out loud. It's a good thing I'm so furry, but if I don't find my way home pretty soon, even I might freeze. Squeak, squeak. And then he saw it. A baby field mouse lost in the snow, and the little mouse was crying. Hello, little mouse, Barrington called. Don't cry. I'll be right there. Hippity-hop, and Barrington was beside the tiny mouse. I'm lost, sobbed the little fellow. I'll never find my way home, and I know I'm going to freeze. You won't freeze, said Barrington. I'm a bunny, and bunnies are very furry and warm. You stay right where you are, and I'll cover you up. Barrington lay on top of the little mouse, and he hugged him tight. And the tiny fellow felt himself surrounded by warm fur. And he cried for a while, but soon, snug and warm, he fell asleep. Barrington had only two thoughts that long, cold night. First, he thought, it's good to be a bunny. Bunnies are very furry and warm. And then, when he felt the heart of the little tiny mouse beneath him beating regularly, he thought, all the animals in the forest are my family. The next morning, the field mice found their little boy asleep in the snow, warm and snug, beneath the furry carcass of a dead bunny. Their relief and their excitement was so great that they didn't even think to question where the bunny had come from. And as for the beavers and the squirrels, they still wondered which member of their family left the little gifts for them that Christmas Eve. And after the field mice had left, Barrington's frozen body simply lay in the snow. There was no sound, except that of the howling wind, and no one anywhere in the forest noticed the great silver wolf who came to stand beside that brown lop-eared carcass. But the wolf did come, and he stood there without moving, saying a word, all Christmas Day until it was night. And then he disappeared into the forest. On this holy night, we remember the greatest gift that God gave us as unconditionally, with no strings attached, was the gift of his love through the life of Jesus. Christmas is a time that reminds us of the value and the giftedness each one of us has in the eyes of God the Father. Christmas helps us to realize that the most precious gift that we can give or receive from another human being is the gift of love. I hope you enjoyed the story, and sit down with your families and talk about the meanings behind a lot of the passages that we heard tonight. God bless. Have a Merry Christmas.